Mama told me if you fall, never stay down. Stand up, nigga, I can never lay down. Wins and them losses, it come with being bosses. Shoot a pussy nigga in his head if he crosses. Take that shit to trial at the Fed, making offers. 500,000, lawyer said we looking awesome.
Yo. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle. That is Mike. I finally got some furniture, Mike. Actually recording from the couch today. As you see the window behind me, I got the sound system and TVs set back up, so we are lit. And I set up all that today. That was in the attic, so you see there's no wires. Lit. That was a pain in the ass, but we are good. I got all those wires hidden, and I feel pretty fucking accomplished, man.
Hey.
In that apartment I was in, dude, it was all these wires were just like hanging off the wall, and it looked like a mess. But we good. It was a good night in DFS. Pick'em is lit.
I'm a fan, definitely. I'm definitely a fan of this pick'em thing. I was talking about it last night. It just simplifies the whole game, baseball DFS. And when you only have 8 hitters to really compare between, I really feel like, again, it makes things a lot more simple to do your research and figure it out. And, yeah, I mean, I'm having to use my imagination, to be honest with you, Kyle. I really cannot see what's going on with your room. But I imagine it does look spectacular.
You can't see anything?
Oh, no, all I see is black.
What the fuck? Well, let's see if we can fix that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Try calling me back.
Okay.
Gotta get comfy.
A little bit better.
God damn it. Now you can't see my screen, though. It's the doing that cutoff thing.
Yeah, whatever. It's just doing that weird thing where it cuts off the screen. I played pretty well. It wasn't I didn't have like a tournament winning day. My pitching kind of held me up. I just didn't have any shares of cores today because I got burned 2 days in a row from that series and decided, I like a lot of other spots on this slate. Sure enough, there were a lot of spots you could go, a lot of pretty bad pitchers to attack. So we saw some high scores today. I just didn't really have the bats in my lineup to do much but get to the cash line in double ups, so yeah. Not terrible, but we'll take it, man.
Yeah, dude, I was pretty impressed. In this pick'em, finished in the top 250 of that free contest, the 16,000 one.
Talk about a kickoff.
Yeah, and that was with Jose Ramirez not playing. I obviously was not around near lock, and so that was fun. Didn't have any chance to even see whether. I know me and Mike got on the phone later, and I was like, "So is this game gonna get postponed?" He's like, "Probably." And literally, as that happened, as we said that, the game got postponed. I was like,
"That's
nice.
Awesome."
So still cash with the 0. I'm chilling. I gotta say, dude, today I did all $100 tournament, or not $100, 100-person tournaments. I did a couple where first place gets everything. Obviously didn't win first, so that's okay. But we talked about that. You win one a month and you're set. Obviously we saw some guys in the group doing that stuff, Matt Hansen, things like that. And then I'm doing just the 100-person contest where a top 12 win. And that I did well in today, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like with this whole pick'em thing, man, we're getting a head start on NFL. Like, I feel like week 1, people aren't going to come in here and not even know what pick'em is, feel uncomfortable with it, and just, I don't know. I just think that's going to be a way to go. Going to get comfortable with it and how you do your research, particularly for that contest format.
Yeah.
Because I do think the research is totally different. It's quicker, more streamlined, and I think we'll have a bit of a leg up people that are playing baseball every day.
I think also for the guys like us and the Phenoms, where they are doing this heavy research for a huge slate,
Mm-hmm.
you go throw them and pick them, And all
It's
of a
like
sudden,
easy, man. The lineup's done in like 5 seconds. You're like boom, boom, boom. Wow, yeah. I wish I could do that in my main slate.
I think in NFL this could be a spot to flourish because
Yeah.
you're going to get guys that are coming in with this pick'em, and they're like, oh, I don't need to research. The player pool's already done for me, right? And they're just going to play names. And those of us that research anyway, I think, like you said, I think we're going to have a leg up on it, and I think this could be a great spot to flourish.
Yeah, either way, I'm stoked for week 1. I know the NFL Sharks are going to be rusty, man. They don't play baseball every day. It's a totally different game, a totally different projection system. You got to really stay up on your stuff, and they ain't as committed as we are. So I'm excited for week 1. Get all those rusty Sharks in there, putting too much money in with some happy eyes. So I'm ready to go.
I feel it. Well, looking at today, my pairing was Morton and Gray. We talked about that on the show last night. And sure enough, that was the way to go on DK. Played Morton on FanDuel as my only pitcher. And I will say, we were dead wrong on Yu Darvish, but as you guys know, it's really hard for me to pay it for pitching, and this is why.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think anybody saw him going out and having a game where he only struck out 2 guys or 2 White Sox. But what we were right about with him was the price was just too much, man.
Yep.
We just knew that was not the right price, and even if he did go out and dominate the slate, it was going to handicap you to the point where even if you did have him, you were having a tough chance to cash because your value had to hit. And that's kind of what I mentioned today. If you're not part of the River Group, you got to get in there, man. We really go in depth with our plays, and that's kind of what I did. I mentioned in the write-up today about why I liked Morton and Gray as my pairing, because they allowed me to do what I wanted to, and I felt like it was the same risk that I was taking.
I agree. And Morton went out and balled. Talked about Arizona's strikeout rate versus righties, and we know Arizona's woes on the road.
And it's been going up and up.
Yeah, and then Gray, I mean, the plays that did well today made sense. Gray versus the ice cold Atlanta bats, that play just made sense. Lackey, I didn't see that one coming. I actually had 2 Reds. I liked Winker today for a cheap play. Marcus Stroman, we said that, he has a safe floor, good matchup.
Sure enough.
Price was a little too high. Again, did well. Not as well as someone like Charlie Morton for a little cheaper. And then, to no surprise, we talked about Rodon. So we talked about the Jaime Garcia pairing last night, right, with Morton?
Mm-hmm.
And we said Rodon was that pivot, higher upside, and sure enough, delivered.
He had a good game. He had an okay game, man. He would have gotten much better if the Dodgers didn't score 3 runs at the bottom of the 9th and steal that win away from him. But that's kind of what the Dodgers do this season, man. It doesn't matter what. They are going to win that game. Stroman, I don't know. I pitched him in FanDuel where he was a lot cheaper as like my only pitcher just because I thought he had a really safe floor. And sure enough, he went out and did his thing today. So
Facts.
kind of like what exactly we would expected from Stroman today.
I love the picture choice with Trevor Story here because I think he is as shocked at what he did today as he looks here.
You stole the words out of my mouth. Wait, actually, go back to the last picture because I want to say something real quick. Didn't jog my memory to say this about Charlie Morton, but because I can't see the screen. But I was trying to find a picture of Charlie Morton where he didn't look like he was. I don't know. You put whatever you want into there. Yeah. And no, that's just every time he pitches, I guess that's what he looks like. So. Moving on to Trevor Story. He whenever he goes up to bat, he probably looks this shocked that he's a Major League Baseball player. And I feel that shocked when I look at what he did today.
No one saw that coming. If you played him, hats off to you.
Yeah.
Elvis Andrus, like Texas. Nicky Delmonico, can't say I was on him. Did play Mark Reynolds and Anthony Rizzo in that pick'em line. That did fantastic. So definitely was on those 2 guys.
And I thought about Delmonico today because I saw that he had started. He's now reached base safely in all 13 of his major league games, and I saw what his price was like $2,300. I don't know. I just couldn't get myself to do it with Darvish. I don't think anybody really felt that way. And then both shortstops here is number 1 and number 2.
Yep.
It's not like you could have paired those 2 together.
Trevor Story was cheap on FanDuel, though.
Yeah, 4K on DraftKings. I don't understand how that stayed 4K. You know, like he didn't. Like if 10 times out of 10, if I saw Trevor Story at 4K, I wasn't playing.
Yeah, I agree. Let me change this real quick because they have updated. These are not even the Game 2 pitchers now, it looks like.
Nicky Delmonico, by the way, tomorrow is 2,500, a lefty in Texas. It's going to be a chalky value play, I imagine.
Carlos Carrasco, and they are throwing Kyle Gibson.
Kyle Gibson.
Game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the same two pairing that was supposed to be today.
And this second game is not on either slate on DraftKings, so I don't think we're going to see it. I doubt that they.
Why not?
Yeah, I doubt that they add a slate to it, but that one is. It looks like it's going to be. Let me get it up here. Ryan Merritt and Aaron Slegers.
Yeah, also, this is a getaway day, guys, so second game having I think there's a reason why. Both teams kind of scratched their usual rotation players, and they're throwing these two guys. I think they're probably both call-ups. I'm not certain about it, but I'm almost positive. So in the second game, you're going to see call-ups. So I can almost guarantee the first game against Gibson and Carrasco, you're going to see the majority of the starters have them get some rest leading into the getaway.
I'm with you. Now on FanDuel, the early slate is only 3 games. DraftKings, it is 5. So your 3 games on FanDuel: Cleveland, Minnesota, Arizona, Houston, and Cincinnati, Chicago. With that said, I think Carrasco has to get a look here. Again, wasn't our favorite play today on this slate, but I think on a 3-game slate and a 5-game slate, he's got to get consideration. Now on DraftKings, that slate also includes Chris Archer and John Lester, so a little tougher play. But on FanDuel, I think he's the clear top choice. But I also like Mike Fiers for some K upside here and a bounce back game. Again, not the favorite spot, but I think if you need some salary cap relief, he gets a team that isn't as good as Minnesota's been of late. I don't know.
So is the Cincinnati-Chicago game not on the FanDuel slate?
It is.
Okay, so
you're right.
it's
John
Lester.
Yeah.
Lester and Carrasco is pretty much the decision you have to make. I don't know what the pricing is there, but
yeah. I rescind
if you're paying up, yeah. But other than that, man, I mean, it's Gibson, Feldman, Fiers, Corbin, Carrasco, Lester.
Yes.
Take your pick. This is kind of how I say that. Build your bats first, then go. That's how I would go with a 3-game early on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I do like Chris Archer. Dominated the Blue Jays this season. This will be his 4th start against them, and he's given up a total of 6 earned runs over 21 innings pitched in those 3 starts, averaging 24 DraftKings points. 11.9 is too expensive for 24 DraftKings points. Like, I'm probably not happy if that happens. It's almost like a Stroman situation today. However, it's a 6-game slate, so the premium goes up. And I do think Lester's my favorite pay-up option.
I agree. I tried to get Lester on FanDuel. However,
I'm sorry, Archer. I said Archer. I meant Archer.
Well, on FanDuel, on that 3-game early, it's Lester for me. And I tried to get there. However, I am all for stacking Houston against Corbin, who is not good on the road, and Houston kills lefties. And then I am also looking at Cleveland versus Gibson. I think those are the 2 clear-cut stacks. Chicago would be the 3rd place I'd look, and I don't mind getting some Chicago bats in there. Your punt play of the day, if he plays, is going to be Max Stassi, I believe related to Brock Stassi. Hit a home run, 2 RBIs in his first start, and it looks as if he's going to be the platoon guy with Centennial going forward, and he will start versus lefties until obviously they get their regulars back. He's 2,200 on both sites, so definitely want to look at him.
Yeah, he's a catcher, so Gaddis and McCann both being out, they have 2 minor league catchers up. And yes, playing in that offense, it makes for a great punt play. But like you're saying, if you like Cleveland and Houston and the Cubs the most, I mean, you're talking about really, really having not a lot to really pay up there for your pitcher.
And that's why I'm making Fires on FanDuel.
Right.
And on DraftKings, as we move down the slate here, looking at the Atlanta, Colorado, and Tampa, Toronto, I actually am of the opinion that you can throw both of these guys in the Toronto-Tampa game at each other. Chris Rowley, great first start. Not huge K upside, but he does get the best K matchup on the slate with the Tampa Bay Rays, who are striking out over 30% in their last 7 and over 30% in their last 14. So consistently swinging and missing.
He's got the matchup, that's for sure. I do think with Archer and Lester and Carrasco seemingly being the only safer options today, we might see some pairings of two of those three guys. And Chris Rowley being a sort of unknown pitcher, and Tampa pretty much having all the value on this slate as far as bats. I could see that Tampa Bay getting some ownership in the bat area. I really don't know much about Chris Rowley as far as scouting report. You're going to get back to me tomorrow on that. I haven't really dug too deep into him, except for he had that surprising first start. But other than him, Feldman, Gibson, Sims are all bad Fires. I think you can even throw in that conversation. He's had a pretty good year, but we know who he is. He's coming off a bad start. Hoffman as well. So really nobody on this slate other than the top three options that I feel great about pitching.
I'm with you, and I think Hoffman and Fires, the issue and the upside. So upside is obviously their matchups, right? Arizona strikes out a ton. Atlanta's ice cold. But inherent risk in Arizona, we know that they can pop off at any second, and Jeff Hoffman awful at home, and no strikeout upside, or at least limited with Atlanta, and also in Coors. So inherent risk.
I think I would feel better about Fires than Hoffman if that's the debate.
Yep, and that's where I'm looking. I'm with you right there. I think Fires has the better K upside. If he gives up a couple runs, I think he can recover better. Now, what that recovery looks like, who knows? But I think he can recover better than Hoffman.
Either way, you're on DraftKings. This is not a slate that I don't think I would really want to play unless some significant value opens up, because I am not going to feel comfortable with that SP2 option. And I normally don't like playing these 5-game slates on DraftKings, but I definitely think I'm going to build around Archer and then see what kind of money I have left over.
Also, worth noting, in the early on the Pick'em, they have so it's a different style. It's going to be 1 pitcher and 7 bats. However, with that said, the 2 of the 5 pitchers listed are Clevenger and Berrios, neither of which will be pitching. So your Pick'em pitchers is going to be 3. And they're Fires, Corbin, and is it Feldman? Hoffman?
Probably.
It's Hoffman. Fires, Corbin, and Hoffman.
Fun with that.
So, yeah, I think I avoid the Pick'em on the early, but if you feel confident in one of those guys, by all means, throw them. But just know you're not separating yourself with any ownership there.
Yep, should be an interesting one, for sure.
All right, well, on to Le Main. That's the Main in, I believe, French.
Le Main?
Le Main. It's kind of like Le Mayhew, but Le Main.
I was going to... Lamette, maybe?
Nelson Lamette.
Nelson Met.
Nelson Met.
Dude, one of our boys is on this slate, guys.
Facts. Aaron fucking Nola.
Wait a second. Did DraftKings just update this?
What happened?
Never mind. Continue.
We good?
We're good.
All right. So, St. Louis and Pittsburgh Pirates. Tried in my New York accent there. We got Jameson Taillon and
Pirates.
Is that how you say it? The Pirates?
Like the Parrots, almost?
I don't know, man. They're not doing much copying of late. Maybe copying consistently bad, but
yeah, they've kind of forced themselves out of this, man. Jameson Taillon looking to continue his great month of August against St. Louis, who is looking to avenge this ugly defeat that they had yet today. That was a rough game to watch the end of.
Did they come back
in Boston? Boston came back and won, yes, in the bottom of the 9th.
God,
after
St. Louis led that whole game.
Yeah, it was a rough one, man. But yeah, I think it's going to be a rough loss for St. Louis. Now they go to Pittsburgh, division matchup. They're really trying to stay in it. But I think they're going to have to kind of win the division to win this one, man.
So I'm going to say this. I think Jameson Taillon is way too expensive tomorrow. He is 9.6 on DraftKings. And for that reason, I think when you look at price dynamics, Chris Archer and John Lester make up two of the 5 top pitchers overall are Archer and Lester. So that makes Taillon the 3rd highest priced on this main slate. That is going to be a no thank you for Kyle, and probably going to look at some St. Louis Cardinal bets.
Yeah. The thing about Taillon, though, he doesn't really give up a ton of hard contact. I don't know that I want to stack St. Louis. I think it's more pick and choose for me against Taillon. I agree. His price is way too much. I definitely think the conversation is Severino or Nola if you're paying up. And for that reason, perhaps Taillon, Jeff Samardzija against Philadelphia are 2 plays that will go unnoticed.
I like Jeff Samardzija, but there's no way I'm playing Taillon tomorrow. If he balls out, I'll come back and eat my crow. But you're talking about price. I mean, on FanDuel, Samardzija's $1K more, but on DraftKings, not only is he cheaper, it's only $300. But I think his matchup is better. There's no way I'm stacking against St. Louis, pitching against St. Louis right now. And I'm looking at a 2-man of Carp and Fowler.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good pitching options on the slate, too, that Taillon is near the bottom when you talk about just matchup and price and everything considered, man. I feel you. I'm not playing Taillon, I don't think.
New York, the Yankees and the Mets, the giant mess that is the New York Mets. Luis Severino pitching well. Obviously an xFIP of right around 3 on the year, 3.3, and he pitches fantastic at home, under 3 xFIP there, almost a 29% K rate. We're looking at the Mets, who are striking out in bunches and are very generous with the points that they allow the opposing pitcher. So Severino, talk about a matchup play here. Definitely think he's got to get a look, and I think he will have the most ownership far and away on this slate. I don't think I really don't think Aaron Nola gets the ownership, because typically what happens is people it's very rare for me, even on a Sale Kluber slate. Sale got most of the ownership. Kluber was like a good pairing, but Kluber was like 30 or 40%. Sale was like 70. And so you may see that pairing tomorrow with Severino Nola, but I guarantee that Severino is the dude that gets that 60, 70% ownership.
I don't know, man. To be completely honest with you, man, I'm not even really worried about ownership, even though it's a 5-game slate. Like, I can make an argument for 80% of these pitchers on this entire slate. I think they all have plus matchups, or 8 out of these 10 guys have plus matchups. And for that reason, I feel like the ownership will be spread out, and I'm not going to really use it as a way to sway me in one way or the other. Severino against the Mets is a good play. I mean, he's pretty much a lock for 25 points in 9 out of 10 starts. He's coming off of probably his worst start against the Red Sox, give up 8 earned runs. I don't even think he got positive points in that game.
He didn't.
In his last game. So he's coming off his worst start, highest priced guy in the slate. I don't know, man. I think, again, Nola at San Francisco, Samardzija at Philly, you got San Diego, the White Sox, both also on this slate. I don't know that he's really going to get this extreme ownership because of where his price is.
Be interesting to see how it plays out. And then Steven Matt's not in play for me, but I just don't know that I can stack Yankees right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting call between Severino and Nola if you just want to compare the two. I think Severino they both have decent upside this against the Mets, who have been striking out a ton, like we said. But I mean, he's sort of matchup proof when he's got command of his pitches. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not worried about Severino in the start. The only thing I'm worried about is 12-5 for Severino.
I'm with you. Chicago, Texas, you talked about Ronaldo Lopez's home run issue. He had No issue giving up fly balls in his last start. Pitched okay. Obviously, we know the strikeout upside is there. He very well could get strikeouts tomorrow, but there is absolutely no way I am pitching him versus Texas. And in fact, I'm running right back to Texas for the home run upside in this park. We know what they do here. Mazzara, Gallo, Odor, Andrus, Beltre, Napoli, Chirinos. Am I missing anyone? I think I named their team, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And this lineup, top to bottom, is literally bringing them back into the race. I think they're only 2.5 games out of the second wild card now, and they don't have any pitching. So single-handedly, this lineup is hitting them back into it. I think Ronaldo Lopez is obviously a great prospect, and for his price, could be a very interesting play. Again, this guy is a 3-outcome pitcher: strikeout, walk, or fly ball. It's pretty much all he gets. In the minors, he had a 42.8% fly ball rate and a 25.4% strikeout rate with a walk rate of 9.5. Add that together, that's damn near close to 100. Mm-hmm. So you think I'm exaggerating? I'm not at all, man. It's literally a 3-outcome pitcher for him. That's over 27 starts. So he definitely has a home run problem, 1.4 home runs per 9 in those 27 starts. So against a team like Texas, it's scary. But if he gets the strikeouts, because we know Texas likes to strike out too, and doesn't give up the long ball, it's a uncomfortable bet, but it still is a bet for some upside at a price of 6,100.
I'm with you. And then Tyson Ross, I think, is an interesting play versus Chicago. I doubt I get there. He's not good enough for me. And Chicago hasn't been.
It's just not good enough.
He's not. I can't.
Just send him a letter.
I can't.
Hey man, sorry, but like you're just not good enough for me.
It's just not. He doesn't make that list, man. And especially looking at it, Tyson Ross is 6'7". Wallace Chassin is 6K.
Mm-hmm. It's purely a matchup play. I mean, the White Sox coming off a pretty lousy defeat here, giving up 3 runs at the bottom of the 9th to lose to the Dodgers with Darvish on the mound. Now they go from L.A., where they had to play the late game, to Texas, and Texas is hot. So for those reasons, like just for matchup and the team he plays on, I feel like Tyson Ross is an intriguing play. Again, like I said, I could easily make an argument for pretty much anybody on this slate.
I feel it. Not going to go there personally, though. But if he does well, I'll come back and give you your props.
I don't know. It's just tricky to me. Like I said, I don't think it's going to come down to price dynamics for me. I'm going to look into this and really decide who I think is a good play for the price, because again, I could see any one of these guys being our ace of the day tomorrow.
Facts. We got Washington, San Diego. Edwin Jackson pitching really, really well of late. Gets San Diego. I think I'd rather pitch Chassin in this game. We know what he does at home, and it's pretty fantastic. Washington also not exactly on fire since Bryce Harper went down. So I think that combination puts him in play for me.
He's going to be somebody that nobody looks to. I don't think against Washington. People just look at name value. Washington, I think, lost again today.
They did.
Oh, no, they can't. Oh, yeah, they're right. LA did come back and win that game.
3-2.
So they lost again today, and that game was at home. So they're flying cross country, if I'm not mistaken.
They do get a late start. Yeah, they are flying across country, but they do get a late start.
And they did play a day game today. So there is not much of a narrative. Obviously, we've talked at length about the home road splits for Wallace Chassin.
It's my SP2 tomorrow.
I don't love it. I don't hate it, man.
I like it, and I'm gonna run it. So I'm gonna stick to it. You'll see him in my lineups as an SP2 tomorrow. And then finally, we got Aaron Nola, Jeff Samardzija. I think both these guys are viable to throw at each other.
I was just gonna say, man.
Especially on a 5-game slate, you want to fade Severino and pay Nola's not really mid-range on this slate, but 2 guys that are cheaper. Throw Nolan and Jeff Samardzija. They very well could be the best scoring pitchers on the slate and possibly the best scoring combo if you can't find enough value with Luis Severino.
Yeah, I think looking at price dynamics, I think Jeff Samardzija is one of the guys that I think is fairly priced compared to the rest of this slate, where everyone seems to be a little bit over, except for probably Chacin and Lopez feel like they're a little bit under. So I like Samardzija in this spot. Odubel Herrera has missed the last 2 games day to day. And he's probably one of the best bats. So without Herrera and Altair, it's almost like they're going to lose a lot of games, man. So probability to win this game is going to be pretty high, especially at home where he pitches marginally better. The problem is I don't know why he doesn't start walking people. He actually has been doing it as of late. Now I look at it. He's got double-digit walks in 2 or 3 of his last 4 games, so maybe he is starting to pitch around people. But this guy's a workhorse. He's going to get you length no matter what. He's got quality starts at each of his last 4 games. He gets the Phillies, who have not been putting up a ton of runs on this trip. They will score runs on you, and I think they will score runs tomorrow. But there's not many solid bets on a quality start. I like Shark tomorrow, man. I think he's a good play.
All right, so I think I might rescind my statement here. The more I look at it and the matchup, especially with those names you just reminded me of, I might try and do this Nola Shark combo.
Yeah, Nola at 12K is pretty much at his peak price. This is a guy 2 starts ago. Granted, it was in cores, but it was 6,200. So 12K for Nola is just too much. I even think 12.5 for Severino is too much, but they're trying to pay the dynamics and pricing is dependent on this 5-game slate. So, I like Nola. He's one of our boys. Like I mentioned yesterday or earlier today, he's one of our boys. I don't hate pitching him no matter who he's got. And now you got the Giants, so obviously I'm gonna like this spot for him.
Agree. Well, all right. That is what we got for tonight. Obviously, this 10-game slate. If you guys are interested in joining the community, getting all those write-ups, advice from the fellow phenoms, getting some phenomenal advice, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. You'll get that free 7-day trial. Try it out. And then only $9.99 after that. And trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing.
I just really want to I just outline real quick. I'm gonna outline real quick. What you get with your $10 a month, because I don't think we really do that often.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you get a 7-day free trial, so obviously you have your own. You can figure it out, but I know that clicks still. You put your stuff in. I've seen and been enticed to free trials before, but I want to know what I'm getting. So yeah. What you see on the screen is very little of what the spreadsheet is. It's like not even like a 50th of what it is. Yeah. There's like 20 different tabs. You have all sorted stats as far as recent stats, as far as what players do versus different types of pitches. Lineups update in real time, so you don't have to go searching through different places to find the lineups. And we have all the stats next to every lineup that you want to see underneath the pitches that they're going against. You get access to our chat room that is running all day, running right now. We do in-depth write-ups on the pitchers that we are playing, the pitchers that we were thinking about playing, the stacks that we want to play, the guys we think are going to hit home runs. I don't know. Am I missing anything?
I think you got it, man. You definitely. Obviously, the types of pitches that are thrown versus how those hitters hit those pitches, percentage of pitches, all that. And, of course, NFL's coming, and we got those spreadsheets out now.
Oh, that's true. Other sports. Yeah, we have chat rooms and people that are so dedicated to different sports that they're, it's all a big collaborative thing. When people come in, they put their player pools, they give you their insight. We have people that found their niche in other sports other than baseball.
Check out David
obviously,
for PGA, JC for WNBA, JC and Keith. They got their thing going on there.
They hold it down all day. I know Zach's been holding down the NASCAR channel.
Yep. We're working on projections too with Zach.
Awesome.
So hopefully getting some projections and an optimizer up for NASCAR. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I watch almost every UFC event. So you can come at me with if you're an MMA fan. It's just one-on-one conversation with Kyle and I. If you're interested in that, free roll contests. If you are new to playing DFS and you want to try out playing it without spending any money, we do free roll contests for every single sport, every single day. So you get access to those links. And like Kyle said, we got a lot coming with football. We will have a show for you soon.
Yep.
Talking just an overview on week 1 and pricing, and
getting all that updated. So, all right, well, make it a profitable Thursday. We'll be back. You're not working tomorrow, right?
No, I am not. I do not work.
We got a lock show coming tomorrow because I am also not doing any construction. So
it's been a while.
It has been. I'll be back, obviously, doing some work on the weekend. But I should be good Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So
that's another thing we offer for our members. We have a show right before lock.
Yeah.
So
it's starting to get back into the groove now. Now that the house is starting to finish up. So.
Hell yeah.
So.
Thanks for tuning in again, guys.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful night.